Hey, what is up, PTX fam, ProtocolX fam? This is our weekly Alpha Monday community AMA here in our Discord on this beautiful October 24th, 2022, or October 25th, sometime in the morning if you are in the Australia and New Zealand region. So shout out to all of you guys there. I am Shiblord, joined here on the stage by Walks, Bran, Adam, and in the audience, CK and Sally. So the whole crew is here. If those two decide to jump up here on the stage as well, then they will be all of us up here ready to go here. We have quite a few things to go over here today, but of course, this is our outlet to give you guys an opportunity to reach out to us and ask any questions that you might have. So if you do have any questions, please simply request to speak live or post away in the AMA questions channel, and we will go over each and every question here for you. I don't know why CK can't jump up on here on his own, but we're going to bring him up here anyway. And then I think we'll have the whole crew up here. So, starting out, yes, I was gone last week. Sorry about that. Had to get the gal up with the homelands for, the first time ever, me and the fam, whatever. Irrelevant, doesn't matter. Back to the flow. Same as usual, here to build and work and grow ProtocolX with the fam here. So definitely appreciate you guys for joining us today. So some of the greatest, the biggest, the updates, the things that have been working on here, as I've heard kind of people say, hey, we had a pump last week and then it kind of dulled out and we got a lot of sales. What is happening? Why is nobody doing anything? Can devs do something? Well, good thing. We have devs actively working on the additional aspects of the protocol that we've been telling you guys about for weeks and months. So good news on there. None of that slowed down. Whether the token price goes up, whether it goes down, we keep working. We still keep doing our thing. So don't worry too much about all that. We keep doing what we got going on here. We should be getting some updates from the development team, hopefully a little bit later today. But the vaults that we've kind of talked about quite a bit are more or less ready. I think they just have a couple more visual tweaks there and they'll be ready to go. And then the NFTs, as far as I'm aware, are still online to be released by November 1st. We're going to have an update on the front end dev on that today. But again, all contracts for that are already completed and audited. It's just more so making sure that the front end works. We'll try to get into a little test phase for a few days prior so we can have a good launch of the NFTs as well. So a lot of that stuff is coming here. And of course, the priority is always to the PTX ecosystem and the token itself. So we'll kind of go into a little bit of different things on maybe some ways to try to bolster that. I know people say when marketing, how marketing. There's a lot of things there that we have to kind of navigate through, of course, and always get better on in the future. So just as of today, I was talking with another team that I'm not going to announce just yet about a potential partnership, try to work together with them, but we do have some mutual work connections, so there could be at least some good opportunity there to increase our marketing potential in a sense, and I think that's a good avenue for us to look at there. We'll have another conversation with them earlier in the week and get some things hopefully finalized on them. I also see Pandem here in the chat from ChainBet, so he did give me an update when I was out of town that ChainBet is ready to get us worked up onto their platform. I still have to kind of go through all that. It's been a very busy first full day back in the office. But no excuses. I have to go through everything that he sent there and best find out how to onboard our token onto that so that the PTX token can be utilized on the ChainBet platform. As you guys do know, I do like betting platforms and what ChainBet's doing and expanding into in the future, hopefully to the sense of even like the sports betting side and all that good stuff. It's just another aspect of utility for the token itself. So those are the few things that are currently in progress that are going to hopefully be going live here in the coming days and or week to two. And that should be a little bit of difference, different things for us to interact with within the ecosystem itself, which I do appreciate all the hard work. Thank you, Pandem, and thank you for everyone on the team and for the community being so strong and supportive, even though the token price kind of went a little down after it pumped. But of course, you guys kind of know my demeanor and my temperament. I don't really get excited for pumps or when it goes down. I don't panic and fear because that's the best way to fail on both ends of the spectrum. Is if you get too excited for a pump and then too afraid and when it sells out, well then you're going to end up in a little DeFi hamster wheel indefinitely. So keep things like that in mind. Is that you do have to navigate your highs and lows even within the token itself accordingly to try to kind of best assess that situation each way, whether up or down. So, Brand, do you have anything else immediate, because you kind of been here all week? I'm sort of getting back into it over the weekend, trying to catch up on documents, and now on the weekday getting back into the main routine flow. But yeah, how is everyone doing up here?
Yeah, no. So as you can see, we had a crazy week. a really eventful week actually, and it just goes to show. And that's one thing I want to say is, although the price came back down to earth, it was a really fun and eventful, I'd say, 48, 72 hours with the PTX fam. We did a lot of events, a lot of people secured their legendary NFTs. Um, and you know what, as Shib said, prices go up, prices go down, but it doesn't change anything we're doing, right? If anything, it motivates us more because although the price came back down, we saw the power, we saw the PTX fam unite and to bring that price up to a certain point, right? But we saw that it came back down to earth. We're aware. So using sort of this, and apologies for my absence the last 2, 3 days. Moving into my new home. I finally got here today, just settling in, trying to, get everything fitted, and I'll be back tomorrow as normal. But my DMs are always open for you guys anyways. But it was a hectic couple of days, Shib. I know you was away, you was there in the background, we were talking. It was really, really fun, if I'm honest with you. A lot of people secured their NFTs. We had a lot of new people come in, some of which are in the AMA today. Some people, purchased a larger bag. And, the price came down, which is understandable, right? Especially in a market like this. If you are someone who's been in this market for a while, it's been a couple of months. Unless you're doing you're longing and shorting, you're swing trading, scalping, you got lucky on a pump, or you invested in one of them guaranteed return coins and then got in and out quick. Not many people are making money in this market, right? Let's be completely realistic. Liquid money anyway. So when an opportunity comes and a project pumps 200% in a couple of hours, it's very, very common for people to take profit. Um, and that happened, right? But what's the good things that's coming? So, as Shib mentioned, we currently got a couple of partnerships. Well, one on the horizon, and a very nice sized community, really good for us to utilize. Well, we'll give one hint: a utilization for PUSD, which further expands that PTX ecosystem. Right, we're not going to go into that too much more until much more is confirmed and Shib has got that official announcement. Right. One thing I will touch base on with partnerships is we did have quite a few partnerships before launch. We are sort of reevaluating our partnerships and partnership strategy. We're currently in a phase where we're building and rolling out projects. Some partnerships will be more meaningful to have. I will be speaking to some of the team. I've got a mod meeting coming up very soon in ways that we can expand our partnerships and get more reach. As Shib said, a lot of people sit there and say, when marketing. Guys, honestly, and I don't say this to, pull your leg or anything. It's not as easy as just throwing money at something and it works. It really doesn't work that way. You can't just pay this X amount to get this many buys. It really doesn't work that way. A really good way of utilization for marketing comes through partnerships, meaningful partnerships, like them partnerships with Chainbet, where we'll be able to use our token on their platform, which we're really excited is finally coming to fruition. We've been waiting for that for a while, so I'm glad to see that Chainbet are finally making their transition to BSC and that it will be usable for you guys. So that's a further utility there for you. We are currently working in the background on further adding utility to PTX, bringing some more, you know, how to say it, unique adaptations to PTX, not changing the entire system or anything, but adding certain aspects to make it more unique. One of these aspects we're adding, which isn't too much of a unique thing in a sense, but the way it will work in the ecosystem is obviously unique in a way. So we are obviously adding the vaults, and I'll pass that over to Shib just to confirm and go in a bit more about the vaults, because I know a lot of people were waiting for an update on the vaults and the figures. But one thing, Shib, before I pass it over to you, and I want to make this clear. One thing I want to make clear before we go into vaults, figures, and amounts is this. It doesn't matter what percent a token is promising you a day in returns. And I say that in a sense of, okay, so we currently as PTX, EPTX, you earn a set amount of PTX, right? If you were to earn 0.5% a day, but the price was a much more stable, higher price because there's less inflation, you'd still be better off than if you were earning 2.54% or X amount percent, right? So it all works on maths. It's not as straightforward as earning X amount a day and it's guaranteed. It doesn't work that. So one thing that we are going to bring in, and I'll let Shib, as I said, go into a bit more detail on the exact figures and how it will work, but I'll get it out of the way. In the future, there will be PUSD rewards. What we're not going to do is promise that as a now thing. And I will go into that quickly before I pass it over to Shib. I know I've said that about 6 times. Sorry, I'm rambling. It's been a while. The issue with promising daily rewards in a BUSD backed format is this. If one thing goes wrong, and however minor that may be, if one tiny thing goes wrong, the entire operation gets shut down. It's not a temporary pause. It's not a we need to stop this or rewards will be delayed. The project dies. Now, why does the project die if you're promising X amount of BUSD or PUSD and you can't do it? Well, it's very, very simple. The project doesn't have to come to a complete halt for the project to die out. All that has to happen is a drastic enough change for the project holders to lose trust. Now, dramatic enough change could be dramatically increasing sell tax, claim tax, pausing rewards. Now, one reason why we're not guaranteeing PUSD rewards straight out the bat is because, one, it's not that we don't have the funding, because we can empty out the investment funds in a treasury and say, hey guys, to shut you all up, here's this for the next 2 months. Everyone earns X amount of PUSD. Everyone goes on their merry way. The project dies. If we did that, in 2 months' time, there will be no liquid funds or capital to bolster them rewards again. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll them out eventually and slowly. We're not going to promise PUSD rewards straight off the bat, because what that will do is not only put instant pressure on the project to provide X amount of PUSD or BUSD a day. The reason why I reference BUSD is because PUSD will be obviously one-on-one back to BUSD. If we're talking about liquid rewards here, not token rewards, the issue you have with token rewards is it's not liquidity until it's sold. The issue with BUSD rewards is it is liquidity the moment it's distributed. So no matter which way you format it or give it away to holders or provide it as a reward, that BUSD value has to be there at all times for them holders to claim. Now, promising it instantly off the bat with the current investment funds we have would be highly irresponsible. Now, I'll tell you why it's irresponsible. So, all of these projects that promise an X amount of BUSD backed or BUSD rewards a day, they all run smoothly until they don't. And we touched base on it just now, but when they stop running smoothly, no matter how big it is, these tokens, they don't just pause or they have a little bump in the road and then they're back to normal. They don't. They die, completely die, because there's no way to recover. If you ran out of money or you haven't got enough capital to pay holders back, or if the rewards are paused, eventually either there's 2 scenarios. The project hasn't got money to pay out holders, or the holders just completely lose trust, call it a failed project, move on, the project dies. What we don't want to do is that exactly. We don't want to promise amounts of rewards that we can't fulfill. Now, that's why we're going to slowly roll out PUSD rewards, and I hope you guys can understand why we don't want to put the entire project in jeopardy just to overpromise rewards that, 9 times out of 10 kill the project. Yes, earning a percent a day in extra rewards in cash is amazing. Everyone wants to do it. If it was that easy, every project would do it and they wouldn't be dead right now. So I hope you guys can understand how PUSD rewards in the vaults will come, but we can't promise them instantly. Because one, we don't want to just drain the coffers and then you guys come in a month's time and say, okay, that was a great month for rewards. What's next? And then we have to put an announcement out saying, right, guys, the rewards are all completely drained. There'll be no more PUSD rewards. The project can't afford to run anymore. We can't afford any more development. That's not what we want to do. So Shib, I may have over-explained a little bit, but I'll pass it over to you so you can explain the vault percentages, and a bit more about the vaults a little bit more, and maybe touch base on possible a single farm that we'll be having added as well to help bolster liquidity.
Yeah, so with the formality of what all the percentages are, I definitely would rather get that out in a document for everyone to see and review. But it is going to be a pretty substantial reduction in inflationary components. So that's kind of where we are there with it. There's going to be a variety of different length of vaults, right? So you basically stake for some defined period of time. The shorter period of time is the lower percentage return on that said vault. Now, one of the questions that we'll get is, well, let's just say you do a 7-day vault and let's just say it's 0.5% daily in PTX. After 7 days, do I have to take it out and restake in order to get that 0.5% per day? No, you don't. At that 7-day mark, you just simply no longer have the early withdrawal fee associated with it. So that's going to be the general philosophy of how the vaults work. And I know not everyone is going to be happy or is happy about the reduction in APR. But since we're up here on a stage, I'll kind of explain this pretty clearly, is whether you offer an APR of 10% per day or 0.01% per day, if it's an inflationary token and sales are congruent with that of the inflationary aspects, then it truly doesn't matter because your same return on investment is the same, right? So if you're obtaining 10 tokens per day and you're selling 10 tokens per day, the price is going to go down at that rate. If you're obtaining 1 token per day and you're selling 1 token per day, then the price is going to go down at that defined rate. So our general philosophy here is, yeah, it's to give us a little bit of time to kind of refocus and reestablish a little bit of a stronger fundamental aspect to the token itself. But by reducing the APR, that does allow us to get through the downswings that we're currently in, right? So markets, maybe they'll recover. I actually have a philosophy, a theory, so to speak, that they might start seeing a decent recovery in late November based off of just some world political events or whatever. But that isn't formal, right? So here's our theory here. We reduce the inflationary component of the PTX token itself. That is going to be something, the PTX value is literally off of you guys. It's however much the token is bought equates to the value, bought or sold, right? High or low. But if we can introduce a system where in 2 months, in 3 months, in 1 month, whatever it might take, for us to start really paying out PUSD rewards, real rewards for the consumer, then you have an intrinsic value with PTX where it's the novelty of the protocol. It's a protocol's token. And then with that, the value can go up if the protocol does better and people invest into the token, right? You're also going to have a value of staking aspects in PUSD, which is basically BUSD backed. We've gone over that many a times. If people don't understand that, they can ask and I'll go over it. Once again, I'll refer you to the Prezi there. So that's the general theory there. Is we want to give you a way to say, hey, you're going to accumulate the native token, the protocol token, and ideally that's going to have more value over time. But if it does go down in the short term, it's not going to destroy the entirety of the protocol because that's not fair to you as investors, and it's also not fair to the longevity of the protocol because it's literally opposite of success, right? So by doing this, we can kind of take a real passive income approach of the NFTs, which are a direct revenue share based off the NFT mint and also that sales tax, and then we can really start focusing on PUSD rewards for PTX. What I would like to see happen is maybe we can have a system for which the more PTX that you have staked up, the more PUSD you get in return. But in the short term, the vaults work as there's different lengths of time. And as you lock your tokens for a higher length of time, you will get a higher PTX return. And then once we introduce PUSD, you will get a higher percentage of PUSD return from that pool. So very, very similar to how the NFTs work in the sense that the higher tiers get a bigger percentage of the pool of PUSD going back to the consumers. Where this is very, very advantageous is now PUSD can be integrated into the token and into the NFT. And as we've already talked about, this is an appreciating asset token. So when it's bought and when it's sold, it is going up in value because it only mints as much as needed, and this tax associated with buy, sales, and transfers increase the rate of the appreciation aspect. So we're going to get very, basically, heavily involved with different things within our ecosystem that actually bring real value to people. Quite frankly, I'm sick of fake value protocols out there. I think it's a problem in the space, and it's why there's been a general distrust in the community. And as people who may or may not be in here, there's been some very big time protocols out there that have either closed up shop or otherwise changed everything that they do in the last 2 weeks. This is real. Projects that have billions of dollars are doing that. So us here with, whatever we have available to us, we have to be a little bit creative, right? So we're going to start bringing real rewards to people. Something that could be progressive here in a bear market, and then very, very much progressive in a bull market. The NFTs are a great way to do it. Vaults are a great way to do it. Ideally, a burn mechanism that I can start kind of pushing on from my own aspects into the future as well to create some more incentive for that PTX token itself. So that's going to be the general transition. So before everybody gets mad and upset and freaks out, because generally speaking, the daily ROI of PTX is going to be reduced for every tier except for the longest lock in that vault. That's not a bad thing. That's actually a very good thing for the value of your token, and also for us to, actually generate something that's giving you real returns in addition to the value of your token over a short or a long period of time, right? So that's kind of the goal there, is to try to bring real value to the community. You guys invested in us. We started out as a rebase project with the roadmap that we've kind of already put out, some of it already. But now we got to refocus and say, hey, this bear market might not go away for a year. Maybe it goes away next month, fingers crossed. Keep an eye on November 22nd, I believe it is. So things like that, things could start changing in the world. But as of right now, they're not. So how can we make it so that you guys, the investors, who have already put money in, where I don't need you to put more money in and still have an asset that's going to accumulate you some return in the short, mid, and long term. And then if you choose to put more money in via the tokens or the NFTs, it gives you even more opportunity to earn PUSD directly. So there's going to be quite a bit that changes along with that. The trading bots are a great thing. I have significantly outperformed them by stupid amounts. And I'm not trying to talk myself up, but that is also a preface to say that I think manually trading for me is going to be able to bolster our revenue by quite a bit very quickly, right? So rather than taking a small negative or a 2% positive, because in the last 2 months, actually, I think since we've gotten it, we would have ranged from pretty significant negatives, but I've had to kind of go in there and work it myself, usually within a time crunch, which I don't love, right? If you have 3 to 5 days to make trades like that, it's stressful, right? And if you make a mistake in trading, well, it's a bad time. But I feel like the bots, while great, and even the ones that have been running live since the beginning of this year, are up 400+% on the year. During right now, where there's not a substantial volume in the markets, it's almost feeling like they're getting manipulated, where there's like a fake pump. All these bots run off of similar triggers. Boom, it triggers them one way, and then it shoots the other way immediately, and it causes a lot of problems. So in order to help mitigate that risk, I'm going to kind of take the wheel a little bit more, get more proactive. I don't know if Sally said it to us here in the group chats, but basically gonna have to human centipede myself to my office chair 5 to 7 days a week, get us some money coming in, get us back on track, get the token working, get the NFT revenue working, and really get us into a position where we are happy to be here and that we're excited to be a part of this community. And yeah, as that grows and as you guys are actually encouraged by the results, then of course the marketing is easier because there's positive action within the system. So that's the general transition that we're kind of moving to as we get to November. NFTs should be out. Vaults will be started. PUSD rewards for Vaults will not be live November 1st. They will not be live November 1st, but they will be live immediately with the NFTs. There'll be a very simple system where you go in and claim your rewards. I'll be adding that pool literally daily, if not weekly. Probably daily, I'll start throwing it in there. Maybe weekly if I want to. Daily's a little safer. So we'll kind of play that game so that everyone can go in and claim relatively constantly if you so choose to. So things like that, we're really trying to transition this to become a real model for you guys as investors. None of these crazy things that say we're going to give you X percentage per day in real BUSD until you can't withdraw anymore. Then, oh, it's your fault that you can't withdraw anymore because you were not nice to us. We're not going to do that to
Shit,
you guys.
you know, guys, you won't understand like where Shib's coming from because you know Shib's a great trader. Shib does his own personal trades, and where Shib's coming from with this is because I could feel you getting heated there, Shib. So I'll step in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to get
What
mad at
Shib is
people.
saying, yeah, what Shib is saying is that there are so many projects that will promise you X amount. And Shib said something great, and he said it to the entire group. Shib said, they promise you and give you X amount until they cannot anymore. And once they cannot anymore, and it goes back to the whole point of what I said, right, is once they can't, there is no pause or, okay, we'll just buy and back and burn. There's not. It dies completely dead. Now, one thing I want to point out for PTX is, yeah, we don't have, great price action. The price hasn't mooned. We're not 10x yet. Things haven't gone crazy. But we're about a couple of months in now, and we haven't burned through the treasury. We haven't burned through our investment fund. If we had a $520,000 pre-sale, right? Now you taking a portion of that for liquidity. Obviously, the liquidity is varied over time. We talk $100,000. We've paid for the entire ecosystem to be built for our entire roadmap. The teams took pretty hefty pay cuts. We're not sitting here paying ourselves $8,000 a week. Shout out to GoShawk and Golden. We're not sitting here milking the project, and that's one thing I'm very proud of with PTA. Yes, we don't have crazy price action. Yes, we don't have tens and thousands of holders, but we have our investments funds, which are safe and hasn't gone to zero so far. We have our treasury that's not currently sitting at zero. We're not sitting at a point, even 2 months in, where, things haven't gone crazy. I mean, everyone could sit there and shout, we're marketing. But we're not going to blow our entire treasury on a pointless marketing campaign, which we've experienced in the past in multiple projects we've been in that have little to no effect, that have absolutely no positive price action, that no one cares about. I mean, you could pay 50 grand for a YouTuber, 40 grand, 30 grand, 10 grand, and it have absolutely no impact. It's the same people. The only people viewing that video are the people currently in the project. You guys, the people that leave the positive comments, the people that do this. Yes, we will market. Yes, we will, invest in situations like this. But what we're not going to do is completely deplete our assets and deplete the investment funds. And that all ties in with the PUSD rewards, right? I can sit here and we could gas the hell out of you guys today. If we could sit here and go, guys, let's make this price 4 cents. Let's tell everyone that when these vaults come out, they're going to get a 1% per day minimum, funnel all the money and they promise these absurd returns. We could do that. We could literally sit here and say, guys, you're going to earn 1% a day. It's going to be paid out monthly, yada, yada, yada. Everyone buys a bunch of money. The price pumps. We make a bunch of money. But when that one day, the single day comes where we can't stick to that promise, everyone loses everything. And that's the whole point that Shib was trying to make, right? We've seen it with yield nodes. We've seen it with, I know there was a project today, I can't remember the name, Shib, maybe you'll be able to jog my memory. No, it wasn't Stable Fund. It was another project, I think it was like $130 million or something. That was withdrawn. I can't remember the name, but it was similar to one of them guaranteed, BUSD rewards a day tokens, right? Now, well, like I said, we can sit there and promise that, but is it realistic? No. Are we trying to build a model that is realistic? Yes. Can we guarantee you to make X amount a day? No. Can we try our absolute best to not run this project to zero and actually build a actual revenue system with actual money coming in, like in a genuine manner? Yes, we can. And that's the model we want to go with, right? We don't want to just promise you guys for the sake of promising and holding out on these crazy promises which are unachievable. And as we said, is that I'll say it one more time for any new people here. It doesn't matter what a project promises you, and it ties in with the lowering the APR, right? I would much rather us have a lower APR with less inflation, actual time to release and build these projects, turn this into a sustainable project. And, it all goes to where we could follow that original rebase model we had, absolutely run with it, promise you guys a blockchain or whatever, absolutely have no, point to it. Just build the hype. But what we want to do is, we're seeing the failures in the market, right? And I'll go back to LMS on this because I had a couple of people asking when LMS, when this, when that. And in our last AMA we heard, we said that Horde is the only project, and this, that, the other. And even then, Horde had some bumpy times with their LMS. So if we're seeing a track record of a certain aspect, right? If we're talking about guaranteed rewards, we're seeing every project that offers guaranteed rewards are going bust. Everyone's losing everything. If we're seeing everyone implement these LMS systems and every single project is going bust and can't afford to maintain anymore, then we're not gonna introduce it. We're not gonna try and outsmart a broken system. And I think that's where, and I'll bring that back to the meaningful partnerships, right? We're currently looking to get more meaningful partnerships because if you actually look at some of our partners that we partnered with who overpromised and underdelivered and tried to exceed these unrealistic expectations, Spring's gone, Bloomify's gone. There's so many projects that we partnered with that just instantly died out because they bit off more than we can chew. And this is what I'll say, and I'm not gonna sit here and big us up and kiss our butts or anything. But what I will say is, I would like to think that at least, even though we haven't got this crazy price action, even though the price isn't pumping, we genuinely give a shit. And sorry to say, we genuinely give a shit about your investment. We genuinely care. And that's one thing I think the PTX team prides ourselves on, is that we're not just going to do something and absolute, F it. Let's do it for the sake of it. We genuinely want this project to last. We're not going to just sit there and drain the treasury and drain the investment funds, and go, okay, sorry guys, project died. What we want to do is build this project up and have that sustainable aspect. And as I said, look, everyone wants the price to go up. It's a matter of time. If the price goes up, the price goes up. If the price doesn't, we're still gonna build. We're still gonna keep releasing and changing and adapting and growing towards that longer term sustainability. Because and I'll say it one last time, even though the price doesn't go up and the price isn't, crazy attractive, I'm glad that, we've got a nice team here that actually cares about your investment. I think that's very, very important. A team that actually cares about, and Shib cares about not having that treasury go to zero. Cares about not have, cares enough to say, look, I'm gonna sit there for 7 days a week, glued to my chair, to actually turn that money into something so we can either, benefit the holders or give some rewards to the holders. And he doesn't have to. That wasn't the original plan. That wasn't PTEC's original plan. If you take it back to a month and a half, 2 months ago, not once did we ever say that SHIB is going to sit there and manually trade the treasury, to build that up so you guys can get PUSD rewards. No one ever said that. That wasn't something we promised. But one thing that we will do is try our absolute best to bring them rewards and bring that income for you guys and make people want to buy PTX. That's exactly what our focus is now. That's what our focus always will be. No matter if X shares do crazy good, we're never going to just sit there and forget about PTX. And yeah, no, sorry to go on a little bit of a ramble there. Sometimes it is a bit of passion that comes out. You know, we're not, I'm not going to sit there and say we're the best team, you know, with the greatest ideas. We're still learning, you know, even the greatest teams are learning every day. And with this market, it is such a very, very, very fast moving market that, you know, last night I went to bed and, you know, two of the projects I'm following were fine. Wake up this morning, they're both shutting down, you know, and you're sitting there going, okay, well, let's count our blessings because although PTX, the price isn't going crazy, we haven't had to turn off trading. We haven't had to pull emergency funds out. We haven't had to have the team sell any tokens to pay for additional marketing. We haven't had to, you know, say, guys, we're going to do this and you guys have to do that. And here's a donation wallet to pay for things. We haven't had to do none of that. We're in a position where the entire ecosystem that we've got planned out is paid for, bar some things, you know, you can't just pay for everything at once. The NFTs are coming, the contracts, the DApps coming with all of that. You know, the vaults, they weren't part of the original plan, but they're coming. We want to do things to make this long term and do things, you know, as much as we want to make money with as well as you guys. You know, we're not going to do it in a manner that is deceitful or, you know, bad or going to hurt anyone. You know, I think the team here pride ourselves on our reputation and doing the best we can, right? So I'll leave it on that, and I just want to say, look, I understand the price action isn't always great. I get it. You know, if I was an investor, especially, and I'm not saying newer investors, um, you know, the price isn't everything. And I say that very openly because the price has a lot of impact on the euphoria and the way everyone in the community feels. But one thing I will say is that, you know, as I said, the slow and steady wins the race because a lot of these projects that are rushing to implement certain aspects and do certain things and blowing their treasury on a YOLO or doing X, Y, and Z are no longer with us. They're not here. They've shut down. They're long gone. They're already making their next contract under a completely different name. We're still here. We still have 130, 140,000 in the investment fund. We've still got a decent sized liquidity pool. We've still got a nice stable treasury. We've got all of the products being built. So I'd say we're in a very good position to, you know, expand on that and, you know, build out that ecosystem. But yeah, sorry for brambling there. It's been a while.
Yeah, no worries there. And, you know, it's actually, I do want to say, so I'll kind of go into this. I've looked down on the clock and it's already been 40 minutes. So just to kind of reiterate sort of what Brand is saying is that this morning I joined an AMA of a project that failed, right? The founder was super annoyed with everyone who asked him a legitimate question. He kept blaming them. He was saying, you know, I put so much time and energy into this, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. What I can say, no matter how high and now low or how low it gets, I legitimately enjoy working with this protocol and working with you guys and doing these AMAs, whether it's up or down. I can sit here and legitimately say when I was, you know, up in Pennsylvania last week and even when I was in Germany before, I was looking forward to get back to continue to work on this project because I actually enjoy doing it. And I think that's something that is also apparently lost in, you know, what has been DeFi for a long time is maybe people get in to try to make tons of money and they don't actually like doing what they do. I don't really know what the issue is, but I can say that I legitimately enjoy working with you guys and I'm excited and motivated to grind. I want to sit here and work 8 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I legitimately want to be doing this here, literally for you guys, for this project, for the team here, for the mods, for the community, for everyone that we have here with us currently. So I do just want to reiterate that. Like I genuinely love being here and I like talking to you guys. And it's been 42 minutes and it's been the fastest 42 minutes of my day. No joke. Has been just in this AMA here, hanging out, talking with you guys, kind of going off
Yeah, guys,
on tangents
do
a
you
little
have any
bit.
questions? Sorry, does anyone have any questions? Because me and Shib could honestly speak forever. So if you have any questions, please ask them. But I just wanted to, I'm the community manager. I take my role here very, very serious. Anyone can DM me at any time, any concerns, unless, if the question is why price low, then I probably will ignore you, just being realistic. But if you got any genuine concerns or you want to talk or you got any questions, we're all here for you. Like everyone on the team, we're not just going to dismiss you. But please, if you got any questions, me, Shib, we're here, all ears. But I think it's sometimes, for 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 these AMA, um, Shib, sometimes it's nice to just be honest with the community, and I feel like a lot of projects really lack that, man. I feel like it's all smoke and mirrors, and as you said, Shib, sometimes it's that everything's going great one day, and then the next day the founder's telling everyone to shut up and that their opinion isn't valid and whatever else they're saying. Um, so sometimes it's nice to just sit there and go, hey, you guys want guaranteed rewards. I am telling you, that will kill the project. Like, we can, and there were some suggestions about having it based on X amount of profits made and put in X pool and based on weight, and you can withdraw that. That is, probably a much more, probably a better model, anyways. One, it's not damaging the token. Two, if Ship has an amazing week, sorry for my language, I do swear when I get passionate. I apologize, it's unprofessional. If Ship does have an amazing week and you've got massive weight in that pool, you're going to be much more pleasantly surprised than however X amount per day is, and that's not income. You can take that income and go, that money was earned without hurting the protocol. And I know if that happens again next week, that's still not going to hurt the protocol. And if it happens again, maybe it won't happen the third week, but if it happens the fifth week, I've made X amount of money and that's not damaging the protocol. Whereas when you're earning that, that quote unquote guaranteed X amount a day, and, the devs aren't saying anything, the team's quiet, and you think everything's fine, and bam, announcement, everything's turned off, your money's locked. You think everything was going smooth. Everything was, great, crispy, but all of a sudden, your X amount, $100,000 or 10,000, $1,000 is now instantly gone. So all of that passive income you thought you was going to make for the next 5 or 6 months is gone. So your whole plan and your whole idea of that set X amount of day is now gone. Now, the vaults will be a really good part of the ecosystem. Please, guys, honestly, I could talk crap forever. Any questions, drop them in the AMA chat, main chat. If you want to raise your hand, jump on stage, unless your name's Ari, please feel free to do so. I'm only joking, Ari. If you're in here, you can come on stage. But yeah, if you've got any question, guys, we're here to answer them. But we do have some stuff coming. We're gonna work on some more partnerships, get some more um, meaningful partnerships. Like I said, we teased the one with the PUSD use case. Obviously, the vaults are coming. Maybe we can get some more partnerships in that aspect. But there is some stuff to come. Things are coming. Maybe the marketing side could pick up a little bit. But like I said, sometimes marketing is a waste of money. You need to market it around releases and times that are meaningful. So it will come. It will. It's not forgotten about. But we just need to make sure that we're utilizing assets correctly rather than just throwing them at a YOLO.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, surprisingly, that was a good, lots of good, lots of good information here in this AMA. So like Brand said, if you guys do have any questions, please ask. I feel like you guys were somewhat okay with us sort of just taking over the show here. I'm happy to be back. I definitely appreciate you guys
Chip,
joining in here.
100% we should do that podcast. You know that podcast we was talking about? We should just do it, man. Because I feel I feel like these poor guys, they come to the AMA thinking we're gonna answer these crazy questions, and then it's just Brandon crying about why guaranteed rewards suck. But here we are.
Yeah, so that's fun. I like doing just, different informative things. So if you guys do want us to have a podcast about crypto, about economic trends, about whatever it might be, I'm more than happy to do them. It takes nothing but a little bit of time on our end, and I like that stuff. So, we're definitely more than happy to keep you guys in the loop in any way. So before we kind of try to close up for the day here, let's go make sure we did not miss any questions. We were kind of rambling a lot, so I definitely answered a few in text, which is okay, but shout out to all of you guys there. Of course, let me just make sure we did not miss anything, even from before when the AMA started. So we literally just blew through 50 minutes like it was nothing. So let's see here. Kind of looks like we got everything. If your question was not answered and you're in here, ping me. Let me know, because we will answer it. I'm not trying to intentionally ignore you, I promise. If we did miss it, let me know, and I will answer it here. We'll filibuster just for a few more seconds, but just to reiterate here, just a final closing part of the AMA, we should have some finite, some detailed updates here coming in the next days to maybe week to 2 weeks involving the NFTs, involving the vaults. I will release the percentages of the vaults in PTX, but I'm going to sit here and tell you right now that the lowest one is going to be 0.5%. That's a 1 week lock. That's going to be that lowest tier. So keep that in mind as well. And then they'll kind of go up from there. Your highest tier lock will be kind of where we are right now with current PTX, staked emissions rate, rebases, whatever you want to call them there. So keep in mind, those are going to be that general ranges, 0.5 to 1.77% in PTX. We will introduce PUSD in due time. We'll get that as going as quick as possible. It's not going to be a promised fixed percentage, but it can be something pretty legitimate as a passive income stream to go hand in hand with the NFTs, which should be out hopefully by November 1st. Looking to get an update from the front end dev here later this evening. So those have been the highlights of the AMA. It kind of went into a lot of other information there. And again, happy to be back. So we've filibustered just enough. Looks like there's nothing else that has popped up here. So again, I just want to say shout out to all the community members who joined in here. Appreciate each and every one of you for joining this weekly community AMA here on this beautiful Monday. And as I'm trying to close out, there was someone who requested to speak, but he is gone. So Noble Knights, RIP to that. But if you do want to talk, just do it again, and I'll bring you up here. Definitely appreciate the core team here for working through everything when I was gone. Shout out to all the mod team and to everybody else that has been up here with us, holding the fort down. You guys are the best. While I'm still filibustering, we're going to bring up Martin FLP. What's going on, man?
Can you hear me, Sheep?
Yep, I can hear you just fine. How are you?
Oh, look at that. That's great. That's doing good, mate. Just getting into work. I'm listening to you guys. Caught the back end of that podcast brand. I don't know. Yeah, but just quick hello. Appreciate what you guys are doing, mate. You guys are grinding for months on end, and I think, mate, we've got a good solid team here, and I'm quite happy to be part of the project. That's what I just wanted to add to. I didn't catch the front end, so I'll grab that later once I'm at work. I'll listen to the YouTube.
Yeah, Martin, you probably didn't miss much. I'd suggest when I speak, just put on 2x speed and hope for the best. I did ramble a little bit, but we did really just touch base on, why guaranteed rewards sometimes cause issues, and just mainly an overview on separate projects and aspects of PTX, why we are and aren't implementing certain things. So yeah, definitely. And anyone else in here who has, only caught the back end of the AMA, you can always listen to the recordings. They're always uploaded by the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that for one, mate, because I'm just getting into work now, and later on I'll have a listen. But just in general, just good on you guys. It's a tough market. Like you said earlier, I just heard you say that 2 projects have shut down today. I've seen a number of projects shut down over the many months that have gone past in the market. It's just a matter of just continuing to build during this time. Like you're saying, you got solid foundations. That's what I'm seeing. You got a community. We got a fair treasury. Some funds in the trading bots going in. I think we got a good solid program going. You got contracts in play, and just looking forward to what's coming next. That's all.
Hey, shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining, and good morning over there in that region of the world. If you hadn't noticed, I always give a shout out to the Australian and New Zealand region because it's morning over by you guys. So shout out to every beginning of the podcast or the beginning of the AMAs to you. So definitely appreciate the words, man, and we'll keep working here, keep grinding.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Cool. Let's see here if we missed anything.
Quick question. Was any of the protocols money in freeway? Not that I know.
No, can I go into that real quick? So actually, cool thing here. I don't know what they did necessarily just yet, but I did receive an email. I just didn't go into it. We talked to them a lot in pre-sale, and I actually was intending on putting a pretty substantial piece of the pre-sale allocation money into there, but I decided against it. They showed me their audits. They were all clean. It just so happens that I was pretty sure we can get more than 43% APY. But if they happen to have issues right now and shut down, I mean, that's kind of crazy because I personally saw their audits and they were 3 times ahead of what they were paying out. So that's big news too. I don't know what's happening with them, so don't take that for whatever it might be. Honestly, don't know. But you know, I like them. They were a good team. Hopefully everything's good over in Freeway. We do not have anything in it currently. I have a little bit of my own money that I threw in during the pre-sale just to gain some education about how it works, and then I haven't looked at it since. So if it's dead, if that money's dead, let me know. So all right. All right, cool. I think we've answered all the questions here. So I've already given my closing statement, but I'll do it again. Shout out to everyone in here. Shout out to the community. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the mods, the core team, everyone in here who's with us in this weekly AMA. We're always happy to answer your questions, give you some more information. So please, as always, drop us questions throughout the week. We're more than happy to, facilitate those. We'll have another AMA on Twitter Spaces on Friday. So appreciate you guys, and we'll bring this AMA to a close. So thank you all, and talk to you all again very, very soon. Peace out, fam.